In the last video, we talked about the CPU, the brain of the computer. But even the smartest brain needs a workspace, and that's where RAM comes in. Today, we're breaking down RAM, what it is, why it matters, and how it affects your computer's speed. What is RAM? RAM stands for Random Access Memory. It's a type of memory your computer uses to store data temporarily while it's actively being used. Unlike storage, RAM doesn't keep things forever. Once your computer shuts down, everything in RAM disappears. Think of RAM as your computer's short-term memory. RAM versus storage. A lot of people confuse RAM with storage, but they're very different. Storage keeps your files permanently, like videos, apps, and documents. RAM only holds data your CPU needs at the moment. Here's a simple analogy. Storage is your bookshelf. RAM is your study desk. You don't bring your whole bookshelf to your desk, just what you're using at the moment. How RAM works with CPU. When you open an app, your computer doesn't run it directly from storage. Instead, the app loads from storage into RAM. The CPU grabs the data from RAM. The task gets processed. The reason is because RAM is much faster than storage, so the CPU depends on RAM to work efficiently. Without enough RAM, your computer slows down. RAM size and speed. Not all RAM is the same. Two major things matter. 1. Capacity or size. 4 GB does basic tasks, 8 GB for everyday use. 16 GB plus is standard for gaming, editing, heavy tasks. More RAM equals more apps can run smoothly at once. 2. Speed. Measured in megahertz or megatransfers per second. Faster RAM means quicker data transfer to the CPU. So it's not just about how much RAM you have, but also how fast it is. What happens when RAM is full? So, what happens when your RAM is full? Your system starts using something called virtual memory, which uses your storage as backup RAM. But here's the problem: storage is slower. That's why your computer starts lagging, freezing, or slowing down when too many apps are open. Types of RAM. Now let's talk about the different types of RAM, and this is where things get a bit more technical, but I'll keep it simple. RAM has evolved over time, and each new generation is faster and more efficient than the previous one. DDR, double data rate. DDR stands for double data rate. This was one of the first major improvements in RAM technology. It could transfer data twice per clock cycle, which made it faster than older memory types before it. Its speed was about 200 to 400 megahertz. This was great back in the early days, but today it's considered outdated. DDR2. Next came DDR2, which stands for Double Data Rate 2. It improved on DDR by allowing higher speeds and better energy efficiency. Its speed is around 400 to 800 megahertz. Still, compared to modern RAM, it's quite slow. DDR3. Then we have DDR3, Double Data Rate 3. This is where RAM started becoming fast enough for modern computing tasks. It also used less power and had better performance. It attains speeds of about 800 to 1600 megahertz. Some systems today still use DDR3, but it's gradually being phased out. DDR4. Now we move to DDR4, Double Data Rate 4, which is currently the most common in many computers. It offers much higher speeds, better efficiency, and improved multitasking performance. Its speed is around 2,133 to 3,200 megahertz and even higher in some cases. This is what you'll find in most laptops and desktops today. DDR5. Finally, we have the latest generation, DDR5, which stands for Double Data Rate 5. This is the newest and fastest type of RAM available right now. It's designed for high-performance tasks like gaming, AI, and heavy multitasking. Its speed starts from about 4,800 MHz and can go beyond 8,000 MHz. DDR5 also improves efficiency and can handle much larger amounts of data at once. So, as you can see, each new generation of RAM is faster, more efficient, and better at handling modern workloads. That's why upgrading your RAM, especially to a newer generation, can make a big difference in performance. Let's quickly recap. RAM is your computer's temporary memory. It helps the CPU access data quickly. More RAM equals better multitasking. Faster RAM equals better performance. So next time your computer slows down, it might not be your CPU, it could be your RAM. In the next video, we'll talk about storage, where all your files actually live. You don't want to miss that. See you on the next one.